Hi there, my name is Jordan Turner, and today I'm going to be talking about disaster management in Fiji. To start off, I'm going to talk about the history of Fiji and the organizational approach. Historically, its government has been known to be centralized, and disasters tend to affect the entire island. With this in mind, the government adopted the idea that they should be the one to send out the countrywide alerts and aid. Disasters that tend to affect this country include tropical depressions, cyclones, floods, earthquakes, and tsunamis, as they're located in the South Pacific region. They plan for disasters through the creation of the Climate Vulnerability Assessment, which helps to guide various development policies and frameworks till the year 2036. They made investments in EWS and DRR, which are warning systems. They possess multiple key stakeholders that are responsible for monitoring different types of disasters, and they created the National Notifiable Disease Surveillance System, which tracks epidemics of contagious diseases. Now, how disasters shape disaster management in Fiji? In 2020, COVID-19 hit Fiji, and during this time, the disaster management primarily focused on natural disasters, so in this case, they were not prepared for a pandemic. By the year 2020, there were 66,000 cases and 866 deaths. During this time, they issued lockdowns, curfews, social distancing, and travel restrictions, and ultimately adopted the whole-of-government approach where the Ministry of Health, the military, and disaster agencies would work together to prevent risk, along with designing shelters and evacuation plans with infection control in mind. In 2016, Cyclone Winston hit as a Category 5 and was the most intense cyclone on record, affecting around 62% of their population. After effects of this disaster included power and communication systems being torn down and thousands of houses and buildings being damaged or destroyed. This ultimately led to stronger building codes and the Build Back Better principle. Lastly, Cyclone Yaza of 2020 was a Category 5 that hit Fiji's northern islands and created a dual crisis as COVID-19 was also going on during this time. It affected 93,000 individuals and it led to the expansion of training for community disaster committees and helped to establish the 3 levels of planning to guide cyclone responses. Next, I'm going to be talking about Fiji's implemented disaster management. While Fiji possesses both top-down and bottom-up characteristics, they are primarily top-down, as at the national level, they have the Disaster Management Councils, which acts as their first line of defense. This council is made up of 3 subdivisions, which is preparing, preventing, and aiding. Some bottom-up characteristics that can be seen in Fiji are local authorities issuing policies and decisions when the government is late, as well as warnings during disasters. Participants in disaster management include national, divisional, district, and local levels. At the national level is the National Disaster Management Office, which is a centralized control system that coordinates all events. At the divisional level is the Divisional Emergency Center. It sends out teams that work in 8-hour shifts for 24 hours until the emergency is no longer emergent. At the district level are district officers that are responsible for creating policies for their district, and at the local level are service workers and their citizens. Potential obstacles to effective disaster management include limited financial resources, urban-rural disparities, which are created through limited access of disaster education and aid, limited communication, as the EWS has limited monitoring capacity, as well as climate change, which has increased frequency and intensity of hazards, which depletes Fiji's financial resources. Thank you for listening, and here are my resources.